Welcome back to another exciting episode of Rough Sketch to Final Draft. I am your host, Coach Adam. And we are here again today in a journey where we are traveling through our growth, our healing, our development. For everyone who's a part of this community of healers and those seeking healing, anyone who's ever here has always found this for a purpose. There is nothing that's accidental in this universe. Everything is always taking place in the way that it's supposed to. Divine appointments, divine alignments. Today, we are sojourning even further, deeper into our spirituality, into our life, and into our travels here. And we are gifted with an amazing guest who is here with us today. Olivia, would you like to introduce yourself for the benefit of the audience?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited about this, and we kind of got connected with one of your videos, and my name is Olivia. My screen name is The Soaring Breath. That's basically what I have become. Just in my journey with everything that took place this far and all the different things I have done in looking for my healing and just finally just surrendering to it. And I remember being at the beach one day and just trying to figure out, hey, what am I going to name my practice? What is it going to be called? And I just saw the seagull just soaring. And I thought, that's it. That's really what I crave, just to completely surrender and to be in this space of just, because I've tried so many things and trying to heal and trying to find the right thing. And then just realizing it's just soaring. It's just simply soaring and breathing. And everything I need is right here.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I am. I am the soaring breath. And this is my first official on camera. So I'm very excited to be doing this. Thank you.
Well, we're honored to have you. So this is your podcast debut. No one else has ever got
Yes.
to interview.
No.
Well, we're honored to have you, and I'm sure that the family of light will embrace you as they always do with all of our amazing family members that come here.
Thank you.
Welcome to the family of the Rough Sketch of Final Draft and the Coach Adam family that is ever growing. Thank you, by the way, family, for almost being at 18,000 followers on the Instagram and now 5,000 plus here on YouTube. God bless you. We love you all. Well, Olivia, let's start there. In the sense of that breath is so empowering and so important. What is the significance of breath for the benefit of the audience? Walk anybody through that maybe is at the beginner, intermediate, advanced level. What's the importance about breath?
Let me take a breath. I go back to basically beginning for me is that the breath is divine. And it's, for me, it's my source, and that's where my livelihood comes from. And he's breathing life into me, and I'm very spiritual and source, and whatever you call that, universe, and however you define it, the breath, it is everything. I mean, we just do it so it's just happening right now all the time. And to be able to grasp that power, that to understand that it's divine. And when you said, from beginner to this and to that and like the advanced, then to me, it's just so simple. It's once you actually connect to it, there's just so much power to it. If you're willing to be grounded, if you're willing to be awakened by it, to just simply, even in the middle of all the chaos and everything, you can stop anywhere and just take a deep inhale and let it just go inside, and just then you look inward. You cannot help, for me, I cannot help but look inward. And I think everything that we need, that innate power, it's all in there. It's not in anything else or anybody else. It's right here. And for me, that was such a big thing for me, is looking for my healing. I did so many different modalities. I got involved in things and I don't look at any of it and think, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Everything you learn from. But now I just come back to the beginning of just, it's all in my breath. And to be able to sit and when I'm not grounded and I'm just going crazy and I'm anxious, and I'm just able to just take that breath in and ground myself. And I love doing that for people, to be able to sit with them and say, I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing is giving you space to find that power inside of you. to find that breath and to look inward and to grasp it, and that it's unlimited. What can happen with it is just up to us.
It's powerful.
So that's how I feel about the breath.
I love that. All journeys start from within, and the answers are within, fam.
Yes.
They truly are. We are not without anything. We lack nothing. We sojourn through this experience of life in these physical forms. We are spiritual beings having human experiences, not human beings having spiritual experiences. We are spirit first. This goes to the wayside. This we take on and take off and reincarnate many, many times. So the soul has the answers within. You are not without. So with connecting with your breath work and understanding that there is the conscious, the subconscious, and the universal consciousness, how does breath work relate to tapping us into that modality and that connectivity?
I think that, we store a lot of things in our body.
Yep.
And like you were saying, we are spirits having an experience in a body. We're not the body, we're the spirit. And
Yep.
to understand that, like, what is out here and what's out here, there's just this oneness.
Yep.
When you breathe and connect, there is a part of me, and I think part of us inside, where there's answers to all of it. Everything that we seek, everything that we're asking about, it's all there. It's all waiting to just come out. There are just these gates, and there are things that go on it, like when we get stuck in our thoughts, when we get stuck in our bodies and our traumas and all these kinds of stuff, everything gets in the way. And once you're able to clear all that out and not become so intellectual in, like, oh, the consciousness and this, once it all clears out, you become clear, and you're able to become more creative, and you're able to breathe and connect. If I'm explaining that, like, I'm just really looking inward, and that's what comes up for me.
I love that. And the truth is, obviously, in these moments when we're having these opportunities for the audience to be able to understand, it makes sense to postulate the possibilities of how people might constructively think about it from the conscious side. Because if you bring up a concept, of course, they're going to want to immediately, with their consciousness, dive onto it, unpack it, unravel it, figure it out. And I wanted to have that opportunity to ask that question so the audience can understand that your wonderful heart, the way that you were going to answer it, is to reveal the secret, is that it's letting go of that. It's letting go of that conscious mind, letting go of the conscious need to want to unpack it, to detail it, to categorize things, to be specific, to look at it with the magnifying glass. The beauty of it is the fact that you're letting go. And when you let go, you let in more of the connectivity that you genuinely have. Right, right. Sometimes we actually hold ourselves back from being able to be in that flow state that actually allows us to grow. So, indeed. Well, let's kind of, as we're ruminating with this wonderful topic, what was it maybe that you would like to share about something that brought you to this? Sometimes we, in life, are confronted with our existential crisis. Sometimes we are confronted with a challenge, with a hurdle. What brought you to this moment of a breakdown that led you to your breakthrough for you? If you want to share that.
I would love to. I would love to. And this moment right here.
I'm with you.
I just saw this quote yesterday. I'm going to torture her last name, but Maya Angelou, right? Is that how you say her last name?
Angela, yes. Yeah.
That there's a story within everyone, right? It's just, and there's something that was caged up within me for so long.
Yeah.
I have been in situations for a very, very long time where I couldn't breathe. And I couldn't scream.
Yeah.
I held a lot of things in, and that's why I kind of went to, I when I got separated, I went to breath work because it was that, yeah, I want to help people breathe, but it was really me. It was really me. I wanted to breathe. I wanted to breathe into spaces in my heart and in my body that was just so caged up for so long. Um, I was adopted when I was 12, and I separated from my mom at 12, and then I couldn't see her for many years. She's alive still, and that was really hard. And I think everything goes back so far back. You think like, oh, this stuff happened in my marriage. You bring so much, everything you haven't unhealed, it all comes back. Everything comes back. And I came to this point where it was just that moment where it was done. I was in this full breakdown, and my marriage was ending, and I'd been working. It was during COVID, and it was just so many different things going on, but I knew this was it. I was
Yeah.
either going to end it all, or I was going to get up, and I was going to find that strength within myself to continue. And something within me was like, we're not going to give up. I have two daughters, and I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going. It was hard. It was so many days of isolation. And when you have been in so many traumas, and you have just triggers after triggers, you're just walking around, everything is a minefield. I hid for almost 3 years. I isolated myself. I kept trying to find that one thing that would break me open, and I just broke open over and over and over again. It was like death. And then I realized that's what I need to do. Who I am, who I've been, is not working out anymore.
Yeah.
And it literally just felt like I had to die to that self, to that version of me
Hmm.
over and over and over again. So connecting to that breath was literally God breathing new breath within me and clearing out everything that doesn't serve me. Really just feeling into every cell in my body, just everything, and just completely opening up. Like you said, surrendering and letting go.
Hmm.
That's how it started. And the reason I really wanted to start doing this for other people is because nobody should suffer alone. I know what that's like, and nobody should have to do that alone. That's why I want to offer that. I want to give space to people to be able to sit with themselves and to just tell them, I'm here in whatever capacity, no judgment. In this space, you can express everything from when you were this little to now, and it's okay. And you have permission, and I will see you, and I will hear you, and I will feel you. So, yeah, when you say breath, I get connected to that. I'm very deeply connected to that, what it's been for me, and how I think it can serve other people to connect to it.
Olivia, just beautiful. Just beautiful. Can allow that to just hold space with you. Allow the audience to soak all of what you just shared in. You are safe here.
Thank you.
This is a safe space to be able to grow and to share and to be blessings unto you and love and light to you, mon ami. It's a beautiful, beautiful journey that you've shared of strength,
I
of
received that.
overcoming, finding that breath to be able to find that calm and that peace within your storm, within yourself again. You had to die to that old self. It's powerful. To quote you from just a moment ago, that is beautiful. The idea of legitimately shedding that old skin and becoming who you are, transforming from the caterpillar into the cocoon, and then
Yeah.
shedding that old piece and becoming the beautiful butterfly on the other side. And you had to go through the darkness of that for 3 years. For 3 years. God, bless you. Just absolutely bless you and your beautiful strength. And to your beautiful daughters that I did not know that you have. Blessings to them if they ever watch this. Amazing mother. Um, and the fact that you never gave up, and the fact that you found the light in the darkness, and to put the icing on the cake, the crescendo, the coup de grace, as we would say in the French, is the fact that you literally now want to hold space for others and to do what was never done for you. And isn't that magic? In the truest sense of even the fact that I resonate with you and align with you immediately with that. Being able to be there for others in a way that they've never been there for you, that's turning a breakdown into a breakthrough. That's turning someone's pain into an amazing story of growth. And I just want to hold space with you and share light and love upon you, because that is incredible. I see you and you are seen, and I hear you and you are heard. And I'm sure that many in this beautiful community will do the exact same thing. So, family, when you get the moment, reach out to her and let her know either in the comments how beautiful and amazing her life journey is, or you can reach out to her in any other way. She's incredible. Okay. Well, as we allow that to sit and digest on our hearts, blessings to you. What is it now that brings you joy and fulfillment in your world, that you find the most beauty in what you do with others? Kind of, let's step into something that you really find that makes a difference in what you're doing now.
What makes a difference in what I'm doing now is
Mhm.
just when I hear someone say, I feel like I've been seen by you like I have never been before. And I feel like you hear me and I feel like you connect with me. When someone says that to me, I just say I'm just so grateful for all of it. I don't look back at any of the pain or any of the suffering, because when I hear that from somebody, I just feel like it's so worth it for this moment, for me to receive that from this person, and for them to, when they sit like right after a breathwork session, we just sit there quietly for a minute and I see them in their calm. And I just, everybody has the storms and everything's going on, but they're just sitting there like they're by this beach, and I see them just soft. And when I say, okay, you can open your eyes, and that moment
Yeah.
when I connect with them, that I was able to help them bring that calm to themselves. I didn't bring it for them, but I held the space. They were able to connect to bring that calm to themselves. I
Yeah.
love that. I love seeing compassion, and I love seeing a soul. When I say, oh, when people walking around, but when I look at somebody's eyes, if I can look at them, make them feel something that they thought they couldn't feel before, and if
Mm.
I open them, help them open themselves up just a little bit more, and to know that they're okay, there's nothing wrong with them, and they
Yeah.
are not all these things that they have been through. And there's, to be able to say, there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you. And you are so beautiful. And to be able to see the divine in them,
Mm.
also worth it. I take none of it. I would never go back and say, oh, I wish this didn't happen and that didn't happen. And I will just say is, thank you, God, because I needed all of this to become this person, this version of myself, this transform, to be able to hold that space. And I've always said, oh, I want to be so loving. I want to be so loving. And I realized that I'm already love. We are
Mm.
already love. All of us are already love. We are not, it's not a space that we're trying to get to. It's already in here. It's just a
Mm.
matter of clearing out what's in the way. So that is the gift to me, is to see someone open up in that way, and to feel a little okay, a little better than they before they walked into my house, or from 5 minutes ago, from 10 minutes ago. And
Yeah.
I love that. And another thing that I do, I dance. That's I
Yes.
embody poems, and I embody I love
Yes.
poetry. I love it. This It touches me so much. It was so healing for me. And if
Mm.
I can help somebody, I'm actually getting into teaching some movement.
Mm.
And I actually set up my home now with these giant mirrors. I feel like I say I need an adult here because I'm throwing mirrors everywhere just to dance. And if I can
Mm.
help somebody, if I can encourage somebody to move in ways they haven't moved before, and to open up their body, because I think you release stuff, you release all this trauma, all this negative energy when you move. Movement is huge. It's
Mm.
I can breathe deeper after I dance. And that's another thing that I'm very excited about, is to be able to give that opportunity to do the breath work and then incorporate movement, to be able to, once you clear everything out, you should get up and dance. You should be happy. Claim back your inner child. What does he want to do? Mine just wants to dance all the time. And I have actually I am installing a swing in my living room because I
Yeah.
think that connecting to the inner child and playing is so important. I didn't get to play as a child. My childhood was very traumatic, and
Mm.
I think we can play now. And that's another thing that I'm very excited about, to be able to give that gift to people, to say, you can do that. We can play and have fun, and that's okay. You have permission to do that, and give yourself permission. So
Right.
these are some of the things that get me all excited and happy.
Fantastic what you do. The beauty of what you do is dancing, by the way. Yes, fam, she is a phenomenal dancer. At the end, we'll give you her socials and you get a chance to see some of her amazing work on Instagram and I'm sure others places. But that was actually how we found each other. You used one of
Yes.
my audios, I believe, and you
Yes.
put it onto one of your videos, and we reached out and connected that way. So happy to share that with the fam on how this alignment originally took place in the first moments when we first connected and the synchronicity took place. I find that it's incredible what you're doing in the sense of even the relaxation of the breath work. That even in that, that's where things get knotted up. That's where things get tense. That's where things get stuck. Being someone who's in physical working out, surfing, rock climbing, all these other different things that I do, the body gets stiff. It physically gets stiff.
Mhm.
So dancing would be the way to break that up, right? To be limber, to be flexible, to get into your body, to get out of your stress and the rigidity of life. And the breath work that you do is allowing them to let their heart out, which allows them to get rid of that rigidity that is
Yes.
the cage almost, the prison that sometimes we feel like we're locked in, where it's hard to breathe. It's restrictive, and we don't know that we can take deeper breaths when we're in a meeting or deep breathe when we're sitting with family members and so on and so forth. So we learn to train ourselves even from a young age as we're sharing from our childhoods. I align with you on our childhoods being challenging as well, and love and light to you there. And we have these habits throughout the course of our lives, and we mature into young adulthood, into adulthood, and we take these, what we think to be normalities of the fact that we're just, this is how you're supposed to breathe, this is how you're supposed to act. We don't think about it until we get to a spot where we have cardiovascular, cardiorespiratory problems, or anything else. And then all of a sudden we start seeing the way that we breathe, the way that we move our bodies through dance starts to become vital. It isn't just a pastime. It isn't just something that's ancillary to us. The idea, even to go further with it, is the idea of poetry is good for the soul and for the mind and for the heart. All these things seem like they're luxuries or that they're outside of us until life really comes to fruition. It really comes to that crisis moment, and you start realizing things like poetry by Whitman or something like Poe. You start realizing that other souls have felt what you felt. Other human beings have been through the journey of the pain and the darkness that you're going through, and they felt it too. And now poetry is sustenance. Art becomes life because you need something to look forward to, something to live for. And you help people heal their breathing, which allows them to release their life, which releases their mind. And then you couple that with releasing their body through dance. Olivia, you're you're quite the healer of light. You truly, truly are.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Indeed. Well, I recognize you and represent you, and most definitely I think that you are doing light work here in our light family, and we're all connecting. So keep doing what you're doing. So as we're growing in this light journey together, and as we collect our soul family back here in the conscious, physical, material realm, what is it that you have that you like to offer to others that when you're coaching with them to really be a guiding light for them? What is the most powerful tool that you like to bring forth into their consciousness and into their awareness that really you know that is going to guide them in a good way? What is that? As you might be able to give that to the audience now, what is one of the tools that you like to guide people through?
breath. And it's just a tool that you can take anywhere with you. Like you said, when you're in a meeting, or it doesn't matter where you are, it's
Yeah.
with you all the time.
Mm.
And a tool that something that I can say to you is that to sit with yourself.
Yeah.
There is so much that you can find out from what's within you. And it's almost like someone did this meditation with me once, and you come by this fire and you sit down, and there is this person who's so wise, and
Mm.
you can ask them anything and they will have all the answers that you need and everything that you need. And to sit before this person and to be able to ask them whatever you need and to receive everything that you need to heal and to become or to transform into this person that you want to be,
Mm.
that's you. It's within you. And
Mm.
I've been to therapy and I've connected with people who were able to share beautiful tools with me, beautiful gifts with me. But in the end, it all comes down to that, is like that old Gatorade commercial, I think, used to say, it's within you. It's so within you. Once you sit and you
Yeah.
really meditate, and meditating was so hard. When I first started, I'm distracted, I'm looking around,
Yeah.
but you just keep practicing. Just don't stop to 5 minutes, 10 minutes. There's so many different things. And
Mm.
also feeding your mind, feeding your heart, feeding your soul with the things that what you want to, what you're trying to transform into, that's what goes in.
Mm.
If you want to transform into more peaceful, then you look at peaceful things, and just watching your videos, that the video that I danced to is just, it was so powerful.
Yeah.
That's it. I was like, this is me. This is what I want. Not giving, I think it was like not giving what others are giving, to be the medicine.
Mm.
And you
Correct.
have that tool, your breath. And when you connect with other people, that was one of the biggest things that I'm still working on. It. I wish I could say, hey, I have conquered this. I'm good with this. And I'm not. It's a daily journey, is
Yeah.
letting go of resentment.
I love that.
Huge.
It is
Huge.
huge. It is medicine. That is, and that content was about the idea of something that I think that many are working on and working through. Certainly something that was pivotal in my past, in my journey, in my sojourn in that regard. The fact of literally when someone gives you a taste of their medicine, never give a taste of their medicine back to them. Instead, give them a taste of your medicine. If your medicine is healing, then give them that. If their medicine that they gave unto you in an unhealed, unhealthy position of hurt, it's poison. Stop this cycle. There's no need to continue that going forward. We can take that in and we can resuscitate that. And if you are a healer, then we will process that and you can then give forth your light. Being a light worker, for anyone out there in this beautiful community, you as well, Olivia, being a beautiful light worker, we have a very arduous task that we have been assigned with in our soul's journey down here, our mission orders, as we were, sent down here as beings of light to take on quite a brunt of pain and struggles and challenges. And we are supposed to be that siphon, that filter through which these things go through. And as we process through that, we then are allowed to shine for others and show them how to get through their journeys. That's the work of a light worker. It is not for the faint of heart. It is challenging. It is painful. And then sometimes we think as we're going through these things, why me? Why me? And the answer from the universe in that calm, collected breath inside your heart, Olivia, always comes back to saying what? Why not you? Because you were chosen to be that person, to bear this weight. Your soul is strong to be able to carry this. And as you carry this weight, it shows others that they can carry theirs too. So holding space for them the way that you do, the way that you guide them through their breath work of connecting them to allow themselves to let go of the ego, the id, the things, the status, the letters behind our names, the doctor, the lawyer, the ideologies, the ideations that we have, and put that at the door. Let your hair down. Just be you. Reconnect with that inner child. Dance, play the way that we didn't get a chance to when we were younger, and allow your heart, that heart center, to come forth. And to quote the amazing Olivia from just about 5 minutes ago, who's incredible, I'll introduce you to her one day. We are love. Love isn't what we're trying to become, it's what we are. We're grown up into a society. We're homogenized and socialized and compartmentalized in that regard, not to just, go down a rabbit hole of the world's wrong. It makes sense that we're not taught that we are love. We're taught that we need love, and that we need to show love, and that we need love from others, and that we are never really ever taught how to love ourselves. Even one of the messages of the whole entire Coach Adam community is the fact that never feel sorry or ashamed, that what you're going through in your healing journey, that self-love is as important as it is, that you were never taught how to love yourself. Loving yourself is quintessential to being a fully fledged human soul on this adventure that we call life, with all these experiences. And no one ever really teaches us the proper tools on how to love ourselves in a healthy, healed manner. So what you're doing is pivotal, Olivia. I see you, and you are seen. I hear you, and you are heard, as well as this community is going to embrace you with love and light. So let us think about kind of a topic to continue on as far as it goes for some of the support that you do offer to others, because we're going to kind of head towards wrapping up our episode. What is some of the advice that you would love to give to your future self as we look back on these episodes? Because once it's on the internet, it's there forever. What would you like to give as advice to this amazing audience that gets a chance to hear your journey today? What is something that's on your heart that you want to share?
Something that's actually coming up for me is we are love and we are light,
Yes.
and we're human also.
Mm.
Something that I actually am struggling with literally from the last few days is that we are still capable of hurting people.
Mm.
You can have all the good intentions and all the love, and how you don't want to give back the resentment. You don't want to respond from a triggered space or from your traumas. And there is still so much unlearning to do. And I find that I also get to give myself compassion, and to know, again, circle back to that, is I am human. I just, in these last few days, I hurt somebody with things that I said, and it was hard. It was hard. And I wanted to just go back and say, I just want to take it back. And you can't take the words back. Everything happens, and the triggers come up, and these floodlights, and something triggers you.
Yeah.
That's the floodlight. And you get to decide, what am I going to do with that? It's something that you get to work on. It's also a gift. I had read this poem once that said, someone gave me a box of darkness, and I find that that was also a gift.
Yes.
And people are it's gonna happen. People are gonna say things, and after you've been through so many different situations and traumas and triggers, you're gonna get triggered.
Yeah.
And now you're gonna be sitting there with this wound opened up, and you get to decide what to do with that. And I went back, and I'm still, I apologized, and just feeling so remorseful. So I get to do that. I get to express that I am really sorry for acting from that space, from the space I didn't want to go back into. But I am grateful to you for calling me out on it. I am grateful to you for you to say, that's not right what you just did. And I'm not going to say, well, okay, I'm not going to talk to you, or I'm going to run away. No, I am remorseful, and I'm going to look at that. I'm going to meditate on that and see how I can show up better, how I can show up in this transformed space of loving. Again, we get to be human, but we also go right back to being love and just saying, I am love, and remembering who I am. I have said it so many times this morning to myself, remember who you are. Remember who you are. And I made this contract with myself. And that's something that I will recommend that you do for yourself. Have a contract and tell yourself, this is who I am. No matter what happens, if someone wrongs you and you wrong them and things, all these things happen, to always go back to your contract and say, this is how I'm going to show up. My contract is I'm a courageous, passionate, and loving woman. And no matter what happens, no matter what I say and how I act, I go back to that space of that's how I'm going to show up, and I'm going to show up in love and circle back to that. That's my soul space. That's who I am. That's me in my core. And I'm willing to go back to that, even if it means I say things that and I apologize. Whatever it means, I go back to that. I put down the ego and the pride and just walk to you with my heart in my hands. And that's it.
I love that. I really do. It's more about the unlearning of the process, right? We must unlearn what we have learned to be able to reveal what is the truth within. It's something that is on my heart to share with you in that truest sense as well. It's Robert Frost, by the way, that beautiful poem that you're referring to.
Oh, is
We
it
did it on
okay?
the podcast, and it turned out to be my light. Beautiful poem. Research that one, fam. That one's a great one. She's right. It's a beautiful poem. Is that when we're doing this, is that the word courage comes to mind. I believe that you have a courageous heart. I believe that absolutely anyone who listens to your journey and what you've gone through, they're going to see the fire in your eyes, the passion in your speech. They can hear your heart in the timbre of your voice. You are absolutely a soul who is traveling and doing the right work. The word courage, Olivia, the word courage, right? Courage. It is a French word, right? Je comprends le français complètement for anyone who knows me from this amazing community. I was an immigrant. My father and I came here when I was very, very young. You and I will share that one of these days. Courage is if you look at the etymology of the word, mon coeur is to say my love, right? If I was to call you my love, mon coeur, right, is to say my love. Courage means heart, strong heart. That's what courage is. It's strong love of the heart. And
Wow.
you embody courage. It is a French word, 100%. Chef's kiss, complètement.
So beautiful.
Okay? So you are courage. You are that. In your soul contract, the universe, aligned synchronicity wise, is letting you know all your 444, 111, 222s, your angel numbers are with you. And it is synchronicity wise, synchronizing for you to let you know that you are courage. You are heart strength. That is your gift. Absolutely. Absolutely. Through the breath work, bringing people to their heart. Mwah. Blessings to you. And on the internet
You're
forever to
so
see.
beautiful.
So there you go. You are loved and you are loved. And what you do for others is very loving. So, well, let us wrap this up with a beautiful bow as an incredible conversation. Olivia, where can people find you? Where can people find your work and reach out to you and connect with you? Let people know what abilities that you've got there to be found.
I have I'm actually in New York, in Long Island. I
Hmm.
will be soon doing some sessions at my home. I'm creating a space here, and I'm also looking forward to opening up my own space. So if you're in New York, definitely reach out to me, Long Island. I would love to connect with you in person. But I also do sessions on Zoom. So you
Hmm.
can reach me on my Instagram, on the Soaring Breath, and I would love to connect with you that way. So I'm available, and I would love to connect with you and hold space for you and dance with you, whatever you would like. Or if you just want to chat, reach out to me. I would love to do that also. I'm here.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Fam, Leave a comment down below. Like and subscribe. I have to keep reminding myself to keep saying that. You keep me honest and keep me saying those things. So we love you. We do. And thank you for being with us on this beautiful episode. Olivia, thank you for being an amazing guest and sharing your
Thank
love and
you.
your light and a lot about your life and your journey. Blessings unto you. Thank you, fam.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Beautiful.
Mwah. Cheers.